We're only days away from the 2025 Ontario Soccer Summit, and who better to help us gear up than Casey Stoney, head coach of the Canadian women's national team and our Saturday keynote speaker. This conversation is brought to you by O'Neill's Sportswear. Dialing in from the 2025 Pinatar Cup, Casey's here to give a quick preview of her upcoming presentation. Casey, thank you so much for joining us. How are things over in Spain?
Yeah, good. Really good. I was able to spend 10 days with the under 17s over here. They played 3 games, and now obviously the seniors are coming in and we've got 3 games ahead. So been a really good kind of time understanding the landscape of the youth pathways. And now obviously the important part for me is getting to meet the players, working with the staff, and preparing the team to play 3 match games.
I'm sure this last month has been a whirlwind for you. The announcement that you were stepping up as head coach of the Canadian women's national team came out just 1 month ago, and now you're already in Spain, getting ready to make your debut with the team. Um, can you just tell us, like, what has the last month been like for Casey Stoney?
It's been a big learning curve. Obviously, once I got announced, it's been very much straight to work, getting to understand who the staff are, what their roles are, obviously building those connections, preparing for this tournament that's coming up, making sure that we have eyes on all the players, making the selections, obviously a lot of media involved as well after the announcement as well, which is always an exciting time to talk about the team and elevate the team. So yeah, it's been great. And now it's about getting to business and working with the players and setting out what we want to achieve moving forward. And it starts with these 3 games ahead of us.
Well, this will be your first opportunity as head coach to kind of see the squad and your players up close. It's probably a lot going on. You're just kind of getting your bearings still and getting to know the players. So, what, I guess, is your primary focus heading into this tournament?
I think it's obviously, and I'll be truthful, like we've only got 1 day's prep with the entire squad. They've all had games over the weekend. Some have flown from North America, obviously some from Europe. So we haven't got a lot of prep time for the first game against China. So my priority is to keep it as simple as possible. The focus will be on how we play with the ball. I won't change too much in terms of when we haven't got the ball. We just don't have the time. And my priority is to get to know the players, for them to get to know me, to understand how we're going to work, understand the running of a national team camp, staff expectations, roles, responsibilities. So there's lots to take on, but you can only do one thing at a time. And our focus very much is what we can do with the ball to create and score goals in this tournament. People will see what we're trying to do, how we want to play with the ball. And I think people will associate that with us. That for me is success. I'm not basing it on results. I'm basing it on how we play and the performance. And obviously, another bit of success is getting to know the players and understanding them. I can observe every single one of them. We've got 3 games. I can make decisions based on that moving forward.
Well, we can't wait to see the team back in action, especially with you there leading them. We'll get into the summit a little bit now. So, in just a matter of days, hard to believe, but you'll be with us in Niagara Falls, presenting at the 2025 Ontario Soccer Summit. The theme of this year's event is leadership and legacy. So, I wanted to ask you a little bit about kind of what those words mean to you. You've been a captain, you've coached across multiple leagues now and at the highest levels of the game. So, how would you say your leadership style has evolved over the years?
A lot, I
Yeah.
would say. A lot. I was a really young captain when I was at Charlton. I think I was only about 20, 21. And what I thought it meant to be a captain then was shout at people and tell them what to do. And I learned very quickly that does not work. And my leadership has evolved a lot along the way. I'm an empathetic leader. I'm a leader that, believes in empowering others. I'm a leader that wants to try and make people better. I think that's my job, is to try and help everybody improve, staff and players. I'm a leader that likes to make decisions. I like to be direct and honest and transparent. But I like to do it all with the good intentions of the legacy part is about how do we make the game better? How do I leave the game? Eventually, whenever I leave the game, how do I leave it in a better place? I was the same when I was a player. Like, how do I leave my shirt in a better place? I've got 2 daughters. I've got a little boy. Like, how do I continually leave this game better for my daughters so that they can grow up with the same opportunities as my son that I didn't really have when I was growing up? So it's a lot of responsibility, but I love it. I love this game. It is my life. It's a privilege to be the head coach of this team. I will take it very seriously. And I think it's a privilege because this is a really special team. Even having worked with them in this short space of time, the characters in the group, the talent that's here. I'm just here to try and improve us to the next level, and hopefully take us to a tournament and do something special.
It's very exciting to see a leader like you step into this position, and we can't wait to see where the national team goes from here. Um, Last few moments that we have here, is there anything else you'd like to talk about or tell us about your upcoming presentation at the summit?
Well, I've built two clubs in Manchester United. The women's team was never a professional team before, and obviously San Diego Wave. And how I built them out was very much based on how I think a culture should be built, around excellence, but around people. And I'm shaped as a leader because of my experiences through my life, and what's built me into the person and the leader that I am. And I talk about authenticity a lot because I think being the best version of you can't be anybody else, but you can be the best version of you, and how leadership is about allowing and bringing out the best in others. And we talk about excellence, like people can achieve excellence if they are safe in environment, they can perform in an environment, they're challenged in an environment, and they can be themselves. So I feel like I've built out programs with that in mind. And they've been reasonably successful programs. So, hopefully we can do the same here in Canada, and this program's very good as it sits already. They've had incredible history and achieved really great things. Now can we do it on the world stage?
Thank you, Casey, for joining us today and taking the time out of this tournament and training camp to sit down and talk to us for a few minutes. We're thrilled that you'll be joining us this year, and I think our delegates are too. Best of luck in the Pinatar Cup, and we'll see you in Niagara.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Thanks again to Casey for taking the time to speak with us today. Casey is one of many world-class speakers who will be joining us at the 2025 Ontario Soccer Summit. Tickets are still available, but you'll want to act fast. The event starts this Friday, February 28th. Make sure you secure your spot today, and we'll see you at the summit.